What is going on, my super sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and welcome back to my Dragon Ball character battle series. Now, in case you're new to this, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are, since this is only my second video in the series, I basically take two characters from the Dragon Ball universe, whether it be Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT, or even extended stuff like Xenoverse, Epsilon, whatever, and then let you guys decide, vote, and come together as a community and decide which character you guys like the most. In the last video, we did Beerus vs. Champa, and just as I expected, Beerus blew Champa out of the water. If you want to see the results of that poll, I will also link it in the description below. Again, this series is not to be a strength test. I'm not asking which character would win a literal fight. In this situation, it'd be kind of unfair to put Frost against Frieza for two reasons. One, I feel like Frieza, from what we saw in Resurrection F in Dragon Ball Super as well as the movie, with the golden form seems pretty powerful, and I feel like if they fought, he would easily destroy him. But at the same time, it's also kind of unfair to pit them in strength levels just because we have not seen Frost's true potential yet, and for all we know, he might have another secret transformation he's been hiding that he's going to reveal in the next episode of Dragon Ball Super. So this is only a popularity contest at this point based on the actions the character has done, their design, whatever. So basically what I'm going to do in this video is list a couple of facts and things that these characters did, their backgrounds and stories, and then we'll talk about the designs. And what I want you guys to do is decide which character you guys like more, Frost or Frieza. Comment it below. Don't forget to include your reason, and if you want, also vote in the Twitter poll in the description below as well. Alright, so since we know about Frieza Pop the most, we've seen him the most, he's probably one of the most prominent villains in not just Dragon Ball but anime history. Why don't we talk about him first? Now I'm pretty sure everybody will agree with me when I say this, but I feel like Frieza is one of the most sadistic and evil villains of all time. Again, not just in Dragon Ball, but just anime period. I mean, he didn't care if you were a woman, a child, or whoever. He killed people left and right. He enslaved planets. Like, this dude was a grade A asshole. Like, if you look up the word asshole in the dictionary, you will see Frieza's face. Well, probably not really, but you get the point. Like, Frieza was a dick. I mean, I will never forget the moments when I was originally watching Dragon Ball as a kid and just feeling those intense moments of like, oh my gosh, what if Gohan or Krillin or anybody runs at Frieza when they're like trying to get the Dragon Balls, or before Goku showed up. Like, that was such an intense moment. In fact, I would especially never forget the first time Frieza, like, confronted Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta when he was standing on top of those rocks, and then he broke his armor, and everyone was like, that's it, that's your transformation. And then he actually transformed. Bruh. Like, that was so hype and intense, and I just remember I was at the edge of my seat the entire time. And the worst part was, every time he thought Frieza was his max, he busted out another transformation. You guys remember the first time Piccolo showed up, and it's like, oh, here's our boy Piccolo, he's about to do something, and then Frieza transformed and just completely annihilated him. I mean, pretty much until the point where Goku goes Super Saiyan, everybody fighting Frieza was completely outclassed. I mean, even when Goku showed up fully healed with the Zenkai boost and everything super strong, when he was getting ready to fight Frieza, you would think, oh my gosh, maybe, you know, Goku has a chance with the Kaioken and the new power he gained from being healed, and then turns out, nah, Frieza was just playing with him the whole time, and it was just kind of a joke to him. Like, Frieza is just the definition of an awesome evil character, and that's probably why he became one of our favorite villains of all time. So pretty much when you look at it, Frieza was portrayed as a super evil douchebag from the start, and you kind of expect that from, you know, the first time he's introduced in the series. So pretty much if you get a job working for him, you might die and not get paid. In fact, you might have a terrible time, so don't recommend working for him. 0 out of 10 IGN. Now let's actually talk about Frost for a second, and if you haven't seen the most recent episode of Dragon Ball Super, just be warned, I will discuss his true nature, and that's kind of a spoiler, so if you want to leave now, feel free to do so. But Frost he is portrayed as a good character from the start, but he's actually in the same level as Frieza, just differently. In one of my past videos, I asked you guys who you think is more evil, Frost or Frieza, and surprisingly, the poll came out with a pretty even answer. A lot of you guys said Frost, a lot of you guys said Frieza. But end of the day, technically, both Frost and Frieza did the same kind of evils, just differently. End of the day, they both enslaved planets, they stole land, they did evil things, they got people killed. Like, they were both pretty much the epitomes of douchebags. They did their business differently. Frieza was pretty much more open about it and honest. Like, you know he'll come to your planet and steal and sell it and then basically enslave you. Whereas Frost, you trusted him, but he did everything behind your back. So I guess the first question I'm gonna ask you guys is, who do you think is more evil, Frost or Frieza? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, as far as my opinion on the matter between Frost and Frieza, honestly, Frieza is a much better villain. Like I said, the thing that made him so unique was the fact that he wasn't afraid to hide behind anything. He showed up to your planet, he took it, he killed people left and right. Like, he was a dick. Now, Frost, he feels more like a typical villain to me. In fact, he is basically a government of a country. That's basically what they do. They just kind of like hide behind their, you know, their business. They're making money and they're starting wars. I feel like there's a bunch of Frostas out there in office around the world, but that's beside the point. We're not going to get into politics here on my channel just because you know how passionate people get around that. Big shout out to everybody that made the Donald Trump is Frost joke. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, I feel like because Frieza is more open and just an asshole about it and not afraid to really hide behind anything, to me, he is a much better villain when it comes down to it. But again, Everyone has their own opinion, and that's why I like doing these character battle series. Let me know what you guys are thinking on that in the comment section below. Although I will give props to Frost for basically fooling the entire universe in Universe 6. I mean, even his closest warriors that helped him basically, you know, end these wars that he started had no clue. Even Kabe revealed how he was surprised and shocked that, you know, fighting alongside Frost, he had no clue that he was actually the leader of the space pirates that were basically starting those wars. So it's actually, you know, he deserves props for having his own unique way of terrorizing the universe without even being open about it. Now, this next part of this character battle discussion is going to get kind of weird, and that's because, well, it's the design aspect of it. I mean, comparing Champa to Beerus in my last video was kind of a bit easy just because they're kind of different characters, but when it comes down to Frost and Frieza, their design is essentially the same thing. It's just a different color swap, essentially. I mean, I guess this would be a lot easier to do if this discussion was based around Cooler and Frieza, just because Cooler is taller. On top of that, his final transformation looks very different if you were to compare it to Golden Frieza. But if you look at freaking Frost and Frieza, it's literally the same thing down to every single transformation. Like, they are the same person. They're basically twins. If you put them next to each other, you can't tell the difference. Well, I take that back because obviously they are different, but you get what I'm trying to say here. Ultimately, when it comes out to it, the design is exactly the same, and this is going to be the part where basically your own preference is what decides what you like. Now, in my case, I grew up under Frieza. I had more experience with Frieza. On top of that, he is one of my favorite villains of all time. So naturally, because of the nostalgic factor, I'm always going to prefer Frieza's design over Frost. But just for the sake of looking at other Frieza race characters, it's not about, you know, looking different in the Frieza race. I mean, Frost honestly is one of the most wow, is that a word? Don't care. He's one of the most laziest designed Frieza race characters when you look at all the extended universe Dragon Ball characters that were designed from the Frieza race. I mean, let's look at Froze, for example. Now, obviously, this is just my opinion here, but to me, Froze has a much better design than Frost. And because of that, I just feel like if you compare Frost to all the other Frieza race characters that have been designed in the extended Dragon Ball universe, he just doesn't have that great of design. So, I don't know, it's just me. So let me ask you guys here, who here actually prefers Frost's design over Frieza's or vice versa? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Now, before I go to the next point, I do want to point out that Frost is still my favorite character from the Universe 6 team between all of them. So it's not that I'm trying to knock Frost's design here or anything. I'm just comparing him to Frieza, and that's the whole point of this video. It's just a character battle. But ultimately, when it comes out to it between Kabe, Vegeta, Botamo, Hit, Frost is my favorite from those 5, so that's just my opinion there. Now, for the final category in this character battle discussion, we're going to talk about the personalities. Now, here's the thing that makes Frost and Frieza two different characters. It is their personalities. Like I said earlier, Frieza's been more about evil and just being an asshole. Like, he wants it his way. If he doesn't get it his way, there is no other way, essentially. Whereas Frost is in the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Like, he's a nice guy. Like I said, the thing that made us like Frost so much the first time we saw him is because he was such a nice guy. He was the opposite from Frieza. We don't really have experience with seeing a nicer Frieza race character because none of us really know who Froze is, which, by the way, that's a character from Dragon Ball Heroes. So seeing a nice, quote-unquote, Frieza felt great. On top of that, you know, he introduced himself. He, like, shook hands. He even went to Universe 7's side and talked to, like, Bulma and all those guys saying, hey, enjoy the fight, but let's all be friends here. Like, Frost is a very likable personality. And honestly, if I can be real here, that's the only reason why we like Frost's character when he was first revealed. Because had Frost been basically an evil Frieza from the start, none of us would really like him. We would have just been like, that's literally just Frieza. Like, why, Toriyama? I mean, ironically, he is just Frieza, basically, but in a different way, and that's what makes him unique. But had he just been openly evil, just like Frieza, been a dick to everybody, none of us would have liked him, and that's what makes Frost's character unique and different. So because of that, I do got to give it to Frost's personality. I definitely like Frost's personality a lot better than Frieza's. But what about the rest of you guys? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below of who you like better when it comes down to just the personality category. I honestly cannot wait to read you guys' responses on this character battle between Frost and Frieza, just because I feel like ultimately they are the same character, but it's so vastly different. And actually, to kind of cover Frost's background real fast, because I didn't really talk about that, and if you want to skip this part, feel free to do so, because this is kind of a spoiler if you haven't caught up in Dragon Ball Super. But Frost, he's the big hero in Universe 6. However, the big dirty secret is the fact that he's actually the big villain. Basically, what he does in Universe 6 is he starts all these wars silently with a space pirate group, and then in public, he stops them. He basically jumps in, he rescues everybody, he saves them, he comes out the hero, but in the process of all this happening, he's buying land at very, very cheap and then reselling it. So everything he does, all his quote-unquote good deeds are done for money. End of the day, Frost does not care about the children. He does not care about the people. He doesn't care if anyone dies in the process of him making his money. As long as he gets his money, end of the day, that's all that's important to him. And this is why I respect Frieza so much more, because he's so open and honest about it. I said this like 5 times in this video. Like, the fact he does not care about hiding behind his fake image, that is what makes him so awesome to me. Like I said, he'll show up to your planet, he will enslave you, he will kill you, and then he will sell it and not give a zero shit about you. that's what makes Frieza's character so special. Excuse my language, by the way, but that's what makes Frieza's character so special, at least to me. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, which character you like more based on their personality, their designs, and kind of what they've done in the Dragon Ball story. So this is your chance to kind of battle it out and pick a character that you guys prefer. Again, the way I want the series to work is I want you guys to let me know everything you guys are thinking, and then vote in the poll as well. Last time, like I said, the poll blew Champa out. Like, Beerus completely destroyed him. But I feel like with this one, and I'm going to go ahead and guess, I feel like with this one is going to be kind of close just because they're so similar, yet they're very, very different. So based on who you guys like, it's going to be the big, I guess, driving factor here of who is the better character, at least to you guys. So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section below. So anyways, that is my second video in my character battle series. If you want to watch my last one on Champa versus Beerus, I will link that in the description below. And also, if you have any suggestions how I can make the series more fun, please send me that feedback, because I want to make this series as enjoyable as possible. And again, the whole idea of the series is I take two characters from the Dragon Ball universe, we discuss their personality, their design, stuff that they've done, and then we decide which character we like the most as a community. So it's just a little fun project I'm gonna do every now and then. Just feel like, because I like discussing stuff in the Dragon Ball universe, and I'm sure you guys do as well, which is why you're here. So let's make this series as fun as possible. So send me some feedback. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like button below. Any questions, comments, feedback, just drop me a comment. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day. My name is Rhymestyle, and I will see all you awesome super sandwiches in the comment section below. Peace.